Well, so it's been a special kind of day. Hi guys, it's Saturday. Welcome back to the den. Oh yeah, perfect day for a parade, wouldn't you say? It's beautiful outside. We're joking. Ontario is currently in a stay-at-home order, a lockdown, and the reason why we're making said joke is because
a literal parade of anti-lockdown, anti-maskers went past the house twice with all kinds of signs about firing politicians and how we shouldn't trust the government, masks don't work, etc., etc.
Yeah. I think my favorite sign though was the old lady that her sign was supposed to say the government is lying to you and government GOV''T, but she didn't have a V, used a U, so she was literally walking around holding a sign that said your gout is lying to you.
Yeah, that soreness that you feel when you move your bones, totally in your head.
Yep. It's lying to you. But I do appreciate that I did see that sign because that was a much needed laugh in a very tense, very stressful, annoying, frustrating, anxious inducing moment.
True story.
Yeah, so we were literally just sitting here having our morning coffee. Our morning is around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Don't judge us.
Yeah.
But
so we're in lockdown. We stay up late. We play video games. We watch RuPaul. Hey, next thing we know, it's 4 in the morning.
We were playing Super Mario Brothers till like 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
new. It's like 12 years old
for the Wii, but I think it's actually called New Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers 2. No, the new Super Mario Brothers Deluxe, or I don't know. It was the one that came out with the Wii, limited edition red one. Anyway. Yeah, we were finally playing that, and lots of fun, but we digress.
Yeah, we honestly didn't know exactly what we were going to make a video about, because up until yesterday, it was too cold for us to be working outside.
And all I could come up with, hey, a 1 week update on our garden to let you know how our garden's going.
Yeah, which we do have a lot of stuff that has sprouted in the last week, but
yeah, it's doing really well. If you follow us on social media, check out my Instagram or my Facebook. I post pictures to there. They've been going for about a week now, and they are beautiful. They're doing really, really well. Flowers sprouted way before the vegetables, but the vegetables are starting to catch up now, and yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. But so, like we were saying, sitting here having our morning coffee, and we hear fire. We hear fire. No, we hear police alarms and sirens, and we look out, and we hear all kinds of people, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, we live right by a small intersection, but an intersection nonetheless, and we look out, and there's like police walking off the streets and the lights going, and then we hear lots of people and cheering, and I'm like, what is happening right now? Oh yeah, no, full-blown parade. Apparently it was arranged by some chrome beauty salon downtown because they're pissed off of the lockdown, which
I absolutely,
because
that's your livelihood.
100% get. Do not mistake what we're saying here. We think that the way the half-assed lockdowns that Ontario was implementing are bullshit.
Yeah.
It did more damage to small businesses and allowed big businesses that didn't need the extra money to thrive, and that is absolutely ridiculous and against what we stand for. I, however, feel like the parade itself was ridiculous and bullshit, and the way that they went about sending their message was ridiculous, and it was so unsafe and so unnecessary. Not a single person was wearing a mask. Nobody was social distancing. They were spreading misinformation.
Yeah, and that's where the danger comes in. It's one thing to want to protest against your business being targeted, but when you have a crowd of people spreading misinformation and potentially infecting each other with COVID, that's unacceptable, at least in my book.
And the amount of children that I saw, people with their kids, like...
Yeah. It's one thing if you want to believe it, but don't teach your kids that stuff. Let them figure things out for themselves.
Yeah. So it was just very jarring and very shocking, very mind-boggling, and honestly, I was so anxious, feeling so much anxiety after it happened. I was like shaking. I needed to have a shower. I needed a light 420 break to kind of relax myself. Like,
I just needed to find like a Lysol smoke bomb to throw out in the front yard and disinfect everything.
Now, what I found really funny though is there was one group of ladies that were walking and they pointed at Ken's car, and I don't know whether they were pointing at the fact that it was a U.S. license plate, and they were like, "Oh yeah, look, it's making my point. Look at these Americans over here." I genuinely don't know what they were talking about. We couldn't hear them. Or it could have been the fact that Ken has a resist sticker on the back of his car, and they could have been like, "Hey, yeah, look, oh, look, this American, he agrees." Like, it could have been positive, could have been negative.
Oh, honey, that resist bumper sticker has been on my car for the better part of 4 years now.
Right. I just mean, like, we're sitting at home, and we have people marching down the street pointing at stuff that belongs to us, judging us one way or the other, and that's not a very comfortable feeling.
No, because if they do something to my car, what am I going to do about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we filmed the whole thing, so made sure everything was all right. But, like, just come on, like... So, the reason why a lot of people are pissed off and upset is because with our current stay-at-home order, there are certain things that are allowed and certain things that aren't allowed. Currently, it's essential items only. And there's a lot of things that don't fall under the essential items list, like any sort of clothing whatsoever. Shoes, infant clothing, stuff for cooking, school supplies when your kids are learning at home. So I understand why people are really upset.
But that's not to say that it's off limits and you can't get it. You can. You just have to order it for curbside pickup and go get it. Right. You can't just walk into the store and get it.
Right. Now, there are some stores, like, there's a dollar store chain in Canada called Dollarama, and they are having a lot of, for lack of a better term, a lot of crap to deal with from customers who are just coming in, buying non-essential items, or being told, "No, I'm sorry, I can't sell you that," throwing their money at the cashiers
and just walking
and yelling
right out
at them and walking out.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that I will tell you in this life that I will not judge you for. How you treat service workers is something I will totally judge you for.
I agree. He's worked retail. I've worked customer service, hospitality. So between the two of us, you don't treat people like that. Absolutely not.
No, especially a dollar store worker, and you know they're making like minimum wage or just above at best. It's like, they've got it hard enough already. Why are you adding to it? So,
this is going to be really interesting. We'll see how everything goes with the case numbers. I don't think anything's going to be done about the parade or riot or what.
No, it was literally a march, but I don't feel comfortable calling it a march, so I've been calling it a parade.
Yeah.
It was literally police escorted. Like, the police aren't going to do anything. They escorted the people to make sure they were friggin' safe while they were spewing their rhetoric.
The comforting thing, though, is the few people that I've talked to on social media have understood where I'm coming from and how I feel about it, because they share the same values. They understand that it's really frustrating, and it really sucks that we're in our third or fourth lockdown now. I genuinely have lost count.
It's the third.
And third stay-at-home order.
Second stay-at-home order. Third lockdown. The second lockdown, there was no stay-at-home.
Oh, there wasn't a stay-at-home?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so I can genuinely understand why people are frustrated and upset. And I get that. But there's a thing about tact and being safe, and
yeah, because, you know, I've heard voices saying things like, well, what happens, this summer when there's a fourth lockdown and then there's a fifth lockdown in the fall when flu season starts? And it's like, if it's necessary, fine. But the difference between where we're at in Canada and where they're at in the States, we don't have open access to vaccines yet. It's still a 65 plus and health workers right now because of mishandling of certain things that I won't get into, but just
that's a whole different political thing that we don't even want to touch.
Yeah,
because
suffice to say, we just don't have the access to the vaccines right now. So it's different for us than it would be for people in the States, where they're like, well, they've just lifted all their mandates and they're still doing, better than having those in place. And it's like, yeah, because you have basically reached a point where the date that they lifted these restrictions and the date that they started doing mass vaccinations kind of coincide. So of course the cases are not going up, up, up. If they had done this 6 months ago, you would have seen them skyrocket.
Yeah. Yeah, and if it had been somebody else, I'm not even saying Republican or Democrat, if it had been anybody else in the White House when this stuff started happening last year, then
it would have been handled completely differently and better. It's not
honestly, it probably would have been handled the same way that it's being handled right now, multiple lockdowns enforced.
But it's not. What I think what he was trying to say is it's really not a political issue.
Yes, it's not.
We're not attacking the left. We're not attacking the right. That was literally the president that was doing all of that. Granted, he had some support from his party, but still, that's not what we're attacking here. We're not saying, all conservatives or whatever, all liberals or whatever. It was literally him.
Yeah. I think we're probably gonna cut it short. I do want to add one quick little thing, and it's something that I mentioned a couple years ago that I noticed today in that march, and I just feel like it needs to be repeated. There are a lot of people who are very critical over the political parties that are running things right now. A lot of said people did not vote in the last election. I said it 3 years ago, and I will say it again. If you did not vote, you have zero right to bitch. If you are unhappy with everything that's going on right now, absolutely go out and vote next time. Make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, because they're calling basically a lot of calls to the equivalent of the governor. We call it the premier of Ontario. It's essentially the same thing as governor. They're saying, fire him and this is all his fault and don't trust the government, and that ain't it. What needs to happen is, if you're going to complain about these politicians and you didn't vote, keep your mouth shut.
Or vote. It's that simple.
Yeah. We would prefer that you vote. I think we should go the way that Australia went, where they made voting mandatory. But
I agree.
That's just literally just me, and I'm sure they'll probably get some crap for that in the comments. But
you know what? I agree too, and I think that it's something they should educate people on a little bit better. But that's a whole different topic for a whole different series.
So hopefully we were just controversial enough today that you'll get fired up and leave some comments, even if they disagree with us. Now, if they get nasty, I'll have to delete them. But generally, I do.
You're on our page. We have the right to.
And generally, I will listen to voices that have opposing viewpoints. But when it gets like nasty name calling, I'm just like, no.
Yeah, there's a certain point where it goes from a debate, a discussion, a heated debate, a heated discussion to, okay, now you're just now you're figuratively flinging shit at each other and name calling, and nothing is constructive at this point.
Yeah,
so
it gets to a point where either someone realizes that they've lost the argument, or that they might be wrong, or whatever, they're out of points to make, and then all of a sudden they start just attacking someone's physical appearance or character, or nothing to do with the actual debate. So
I think that's going to do it for us this week, guys. Don't forget to like us on social media. Check us out on twitch.tv/Men of the Den. Ed streams as well, twitch.tv/edculp. We recently just did actually today we did a giveaway on our Twitch, so definitely tune in, watch the boys. I'm sure there will be more giveaways in the future, and yeah.
Don't forget to wear a mask. Don't forget to wash your hands. Get vaccinated if you can. And for God's sake, let's get this COVID thing over with.
Seriously. Bye.